Hello, my name is Brian. This is Football Minute 22, and we're back in Melilla/Almeria, where we're renting a stadium, Estadio Juegos del Mediterráneo. It is our mid-year update. It is February 1. We have just closed the winter transfer window, and let's take a look at what the management is thinking of us today. So, first off, you notice there are less things here under club culture, and that is because we've had an election, as the Spanish clubs do, and ours in particular. And when we had a new head of the board elected, they took away basically all of our club culture, other than sign players under the age of 23 for the first team. Not sure how I feel about that one. Since the three styles of football, or the styles of football I play, so it wasn't exactly a hardship to meet those criteria. And you never know when they might get goofy and replace them with something else, but they usually just follow with whatever you're doing. So, working within the payroll budget, still intact. Not getting relegated right now, still intact. Reaching the third round of the Copa del Rey, not so much. We had a bit of a mean draw. It wasn't the worst draw in the world, but we faced Osasuna in the first round. Osasuna was a team that I believe got relegated last year, so they're in La Liga 2, but that still meant they were a very competent team. They are currently at the top, if not in second place, of La Liga Smartbank, La Liga 2. And we played I thought it was Osuna's affiliate club, their B side, or U23s, whatever it is. And so I rotated heavily, which, was still mostly guys who were on the team last year who beat them. So I was thinking it would be fine, but they just outclassed us entirely. Overall, B performance. They're happy with one of our signings. They're unhappy with some loanouts. They're unhappy with that performance in the Copa del Rey, but they're largely happy with their performance in the league. We did finish up improving our training facilities. They are, in fact, now good. Now just to keep pressing forward and get them up to great and amazing and the best. Sorry, world class, I believe, is the highest category of training facility you can get in the game. So let's take a look at where we're at. We're sitting in 12th place right now. It's obviously a bit worse than the, I believe, 8th we finished last year. We are kind of the bottom of the pack between 12th and 8th. That is only separated by 3 points. So it isn't really like we're stuck down here. And if 7th opens up to a European spot like last time, 36 points, and even 6th points on 37, there's plenty of time to catch those. At 29, it'd be a little hard to fall down into the relegation spots, though it is possible. Our recent form has been all over the place. 3 losses, a win, and a draw. Opponent quality does matter in that. So let's take a look at the schedule. Let's see. What was the game I hosted last time? I would assume... Was it this 3-3 draw against Malaga? I'm forgetting what game I showed you last time. That feels right. Because I know I had the games against Real V, Gijon, Celta. Yeah, I think this Malaga game was the last game we showed. So since then, we did play Celta, Gijon, and Eibar, who are 3 of the worst teams in the league, all at home. We beat them all. Real V is a bottom half side, and Kuma Babakar just took us apart. Goals in the first 60th and 83rd minute. That was frustrating. We lost to Real Sociedad on the road, 0-4. Again, like to turn that around. Also lost on the road to Real Madrid, 2-5. We did draw Valencia and beat Levante, but then been a little bit of a skid here. Draws against Sevilla and Getafe, both home games. You'd really like to get the wins there. They scored in the 39th. We equal in the 42nd. They scored in the 21st. We answered back in the 73rd and 77th, and then they broke our hearts in 90 plus 3. We lost on the road to Real Betis. We lost that Copa del Rey game. It was close, but yeah. Well, close-ish. They scored the first 2. we eventually got one closer. We drew on the road against Villarreal, so that was a promising result. Before losing at home to Alaves, and just a listless, terrible performance. And we beat Granada at home, and we finished off with our home stint with Barcelona. It's Barcelona. We didn't try and play conservative. We went for it, which didn't pay off at all. So we still have some of the easy teams on the schedule, several of them. Unfortunately, they're all on the road this time. Celta, Gijon, Eibar, all right there. Celta is in 14th. Gijon and Eibar are 19th and 20th. Real V is in 18th. So that slate of 4 games is super huge for us to rack up as many points as we can. Bilbao's in 11th on the road. Los Palmas is in 9th on the road. Malaga is 10th at home. If we can get any, the points we get out of these next 3 is important, and we need to dominate some points before we get back into the hard part of the schedule with Real Sociedad, Atletico, and Real Madrid, and then run out the season. So I was trying to diagnose the problem because, we're doing a little worse than we did last year, but we brought in some important transfers. So, we come to attacking here, and we're 6th in goals and 33 goals. There's a pretty big gap between us and Valencia, but we're the top of the rest in terms of goal production. And in terms of expected goal production, we're at 35.57. So we're underperforming that a little, but well within an expected range. And, it's not like, we're several goals down. It's a little surprising that Valencia has 39 goals on maybe 33 XG, but, so we're underperforming a little, but it's well within margins. And, if we were scoring if the 5th, 6th most goals, it doesn't really matter. We should be doing, 5th, 6th place. So the offense isn't really the problem. And we've done that on 1 penalty. So we've scored decently from corners. Tied for 3rd here with 5 goals off corners. So that's nice. But we haven't really scored, I believe, from directs or indirects. So I guess we scored 2 indirects. Interesting. Pass completion rating is 9th. That's okay. We've created the 2nd most chances, which means we've been a little inaccurate with the chances we've taken. But again, that's kind of my style. Let's get a bunch of shots up. They don't have to be the best shots in the world. I just want a bunch of shots. Eventually something will go in. But then we get to allowed goals, and this is obviously the problem screen because goals scored wasn't. And you can see we're in 15th place in goals allowed, and that's bad. It's not Eibar bad, but it's not good. And we were European qualifying spots in goals scored. In this, we are getting close to relegation territory in goals allowed. So we've allowed 39 goals, but our expected goals are 29. We've allowed 10 more goals than we've expected. And, we look at this, we're 7th in basically expected goals. If our XG was our actual goal performance, we'd almost certainly have to be, in the top 6 or 7. Instead, we're like in 12th. This huge gap between, we expect you to give up 29 goals and you've given up 39 goals. So in my mind, that reads strongly as the goalkeeper is the problem. They've gotten a position where against a typical goalie, they would score 29 goals, and our goalie's been so out of position, not performing, that they've scored 39. There could be some on the positioning of the defensive players, but even then, that would usually show up in the XG, and the fact that it hasn't is frustrating. We also haven't allowed any from corners, so we've been doing very good there. We have allowed 2 from direct free kicks and none from indirects, so those are both good. Barcelona has allowed 7 goals on 14 XG. Remarkable. We're pretty average in fouling. We are below average in tackles won. Very average in blocks. Up there high on possession won, though. Very high in clearances, average on interceptions. We conceded 2 penalties. That seems about fair, about average. We've allowed 13th shots, so we've allowed a little more shots than goals allowed. Shots on target against, again, 14th. So, that partially drove my winter transfer window, was that I think the goalkeeper was the problem. We are drawing 13,000 people to our stadium in Almeria. Obviously, there's a big difference in location between Almeria and Melilla, which is probably hurting our ability of our fans to get there. So that's we're not earning as much as we'd like by filling up this stadium where we're renting. But also our reputation still being low and just creeping up now is part of the problem. So let's go back and look at our current player list. You're going to possibly notice some names that, if you're eagle-eyed, that are new. Please do your best to ignore them. As we go and selection info, sure. We look at, again, where is the problem? So up top, we notice players who aren't the problem. Steven Sessingen, who is unfortunately injured, and whose name I'm sure I mispronounced, is not the problem. Our new right back has been great. Chrislane Matsima, center back, occasionally defensive midfielder, also has been very solid. Ibrahim Kawio has also been good. His goals came really aggressively. His first 4 goals came in the first, say, 4 games of the season. Not 1 for 1, but, all piled up there. One since then has been a bit later, but overall, relatively effective. And then Isahaku Abdul Fatawu on the right side is actually our leading goal scorer at 6 goals. They've been better spread out, so he's been a good hire. The problem position here is left back. That's Ariel Mendy here. Started the year at 3.5 current ability. He hasn't lost any attributes. His form has just been so putrid that they've dropped him down to 2.5 star ability. And the replacement of that position is Sandro Cruz here, who's been a bit better, but he still just doesn't have the defensive attributes I want, and wasn't amazing last year. Last year he had a 6.87. So how am I to trust his 6.94? It's not like it's that much better. So left back in particular was an area of concern. Unfortunately, we weren't able to address that one. So let's go into the transfer window. What did we do? We made 3 moves. The first was a free. We signed Saidu Bolaji here on a free. 1.5 star current ability, 3 star potential ability, maybe a 4 star. Quara United just didn't want him. I said, okay, well, I'll pay him, $44K, and he's already worth $300K to $650K. We sell him for that. Hopefully things work out great. So here's hopefully our goalkeeper of the future. We got him from Isebjerg FB in the 2nd league of Denmark. Ugo Chukwu Babangida, Nigerian, 19 years old, 3.5 star current ability, 4 star potential ability with that elusive potential 5th star. His aerial reach is a little disappointing at just 8, but 16 reflexes, very determined, got good handling. You'd like to see his first touch in particular get better. His personality is lighthearted, which is not an exciting personality, but just with the goalkeeper long development curve, if he has good potential ability, he will reach it. Given he's just 19 and already a starter, so we can just roll with him hopefully for a long time. Replace Paul Beste. We loaned out Kamara to because he was complaining about wanting more playing time, which maybe I should have just given him because Paul Beste clearly wasn't the answer. And yeah, but so we loaned Kamara out so he could get more starts to have a better perception for his national team because he wasn't getting those with us. And then we signed Chad Daniels from Sporting in Portugal. He is listed here as a midfielder, a center midfielder, but he is also a right winger. Left-footed, so he can play as an inside forward. 12 finishing, 15 pace, 17 acceleration, so he can definitely play there. With his marking being a 2, his tackling being a 4, I think that is better. That's his better position. If you play him back here, you're getting a complete all offense, no defense player. I like my center midfielders to be better rounded. Because of that, we did move Silas Nwankwo out on loan. He just doesn't have the same potential. He is 22. Solid player, but again, we're looking for players who make a difference, and Chad Daniels is 3.5 current ability, 4-star potential ability with that elusive potential 5th star. So we take it back to the squad screen and we switch it over to reports, and we can kind of see what we hope is the young core of the team right here. Ibrahimo Kawio and Ugochukwu Babangida are both 19, 3.5 and 4-star current ability, 4-star, 5th-star potential ability. Chad Daniels, Musa Michael, even though Musa Michael has struggled this year once again. 3-star, 3.5-star current ability, 4-star with 5th-star potential ability, and Isahaku Abdul Fatu, 21-year-old, 3.5-star current ability, 4-star, 5th-star potential ability. So those 5 theoretically are, our big core. The awkward part is ideally Kawio plays up top, Chad Daniels plays along the right, Musa Michael plays along the left, and Isahaku plays along the right, but also maybe the left. He does have 12 crossing. He might be a better left winger than Musa Michael. We've been trying to maybe develop that. So there's a bit of redundancy. You could, again, play Daniels back into the center midfield, but 2 marking, 4 tackling just feels terrible to me there. I'd almost rather play Musa Michael there with his 5 marking and his 4 tackling. And he has, again, a tiny bit of experience there. We've played him there as like an emergency sub as well. And then the next chunk of the team here is guys who are like 23, 26, probably done developing, but are just steady players. That's mostly new hires. Chris Lane Matsima, Zaido Yusuf, Emmanuel Gaiabua, Steven Sessingen. Charles Abbey would be included in this list, but as an attacking player, all of our attacking players, we've already got 4 good attacking players, so it's a struggle to find out where to play him, and he hasn't been playing great this year, and unfortunately I even promised him a fair amount of playing time because he wasn't getting enough, and he's listed as an important player. That needs to be amended, but so unfortunately, he can play the Trinity, left, center, top, left, center, right. Center top is a bit redundant. Can't play center technically as an attacking midfield, or at least doesn't have any traits there. So that really leaves the defense to be improved. I think some of it's a little false, but because obviously Sessingen occupies one of those spots. But we could use a true terrifying center back who really locks things down to play with Matsima. Matsima's just 1. If we can get a second, that'd be amazing. And then we definitely need a left back. Cruz is not the answer. Neither is Mendy. Mendy's definitely not the answer. I don't know why he's not the answer, but he's not. And defensive midfield is a bit boring. Trevor Boney's playing right there right now. Again, due to injuries, somewhat. But that position's always kind of low in the system. It just doesn't. It's, I don't know, low value, unexciting position. Just go out, be in good position to cut off counterattacks, make simple passes. It's just not a glory position by any means. So that'll take us into our game of the week, and it is a road trip to Bilbao. They're in 11th, so this one could be a little difficult. Hopefully we will rise to the occasion. No, shouldn't have done that. I had a couple of these things fixed. Nope, he's tired. You go there. Yusuf comes in there. And we're trying to start Cruz down there. All right, so this is what the lineup's going to look like. We're trying Michael on the right, Cowio up top, Daniels on the right. Fatawu is a bit tired. I don't know if he played in the U19 game or what, but yeah, he needs a little time off there. Yusuf and Gayabua in the middle, Boni at defensive mid, Babangida in the net, Cruz, Riyad, Faustino, and Ananu along the back. This is definitely not the back line we want, but Session and Matsima are both out with injury, and so it's the back line we have. We've loaned out Iker Hernandez and Gideon Zelalem, as well as Nwanku. We were just trying to get some of their salary off the books. We tried to move them because, again, I don't see a spot for him in the future. Hernandez in particular, despite how good he was and important he was for coming up in the leagues, we just covered how we have 4 21 and under attacking players on both wings and at top that need playing time, and so he's just not going to find it, especially when we have to also account for Charles Abbey, who is an important player with a younger, better fit than Iker Hernandez. We have to wear our blues today. That's nice. Vencedor plays it back to Acapulco. Plays along, and Babangida handles it easily. He's probably going to roll out to one of the center backs, but unfortunately the clip initiates the other way. Faustino plays it back to Babangida, up to Riyad. Riyad finds Yusuf. Yusuf finds Cowio. Cowio finds Michael. Michael lays it back to Santa Cruz. Plays the long for Cowio on a break. Unfortunately, playing the defender does a good job of cutting underneath him and taking away the good angles, and so all he's left with is a pretty bad one. Musa Michael does chest the ball down at his feet and mispasses, and he goes to a strong attack the other way. Luckily, Babangida blocks it. They will get a corner out of it. Again, wrong-footed, and so not really a threat. Munian come out and play it to Lopez, over to Vencedor. Lays it back to Martinez, and back to Vencedor. We're in a pretty good defending position. I'm not seeing any big concerns right now. I'm sure one will develop soon enough. Serrano strikes it, and a good save by Babangida as he lays out and tips it over the top. Their captain, Munien, inside breaking this time. Riyad heads it away, and Lopez is the first one there. If only for once they would pass it back. I guess it was the wrong side, but Bonatrovi with the dispossession and bounces around. Or center backs have a kickabout. Unfortunately, Daniels can't handle the long bomb out on the distribution, and they have the ball once again. It's been a lot of highlights for the first 5 minutes, and unfortunately, all of them have gone to them. Babangida, Riyad, Yusuf, Riyad, Cowio. Here's the break. Bad first touch. Went out instead of in. Chad Daniels, who we got out of Portugal, is of South African descent, which partially explains his very white English name when he is, not. And name of exotic names, Chad Daniels stands out. Babangida with the save. Nice. That was dangerous. Just coming off a game where we didn't commit a penalty, but we fouled Barcelona's player right out top of the box, which is basically a shooting gallery, and especially with the quality of players they have. And they scored right off that free kick that was, a foot off of the top of the box, dead center. Too many opportunities. Musa Michael plays it long. Cowio wasn't in a good position to make a run, and so we're sitting here looking at us, but their distribution goes awry, and on the counter-attack, Cowio looking for Musa Michael, saved by Simon, but I think the officials were indicating he was offsides anyways. Let's give the boys an encouraging shout. They'll probably score a goal here, so when they hear the shout 2 minutes later, they get upset with me. That would be fitting. Nope. Ball goes the other way. It looks like Faustino will be the first one there. Turning, looking, plays it back to Babangida. Babangida again plays it long, which I don't love because, Musa Michael's not exactly tall. But makes a good run there. Unfortunately, tries to take the shot, I guess. Left-footed, but practically on the goal line. And easily scooped up by the keeper. Martinez, the Vencedor. Nice pass. Muniain. Luckily, they weren't able to initiate the give and go. And all they have is that attack right there. We are on 2 yellow cards, Boney and Ananu. Are we going to get a free kick from here? I am excited by this. Cowio can't convert. Musa Michael plays it far box. Riyadh comes away with it, plays it into Ananu. Ananu breaking for the end line. Ananu wearing the captain's badge, armed man, this week. Iker Hernandez had been our captain, so we promoted Jose Antonio Gonzalez, who'd been on the team for a while and is still part of the center mid rotation. There we go. The goalkeeper can't keep a hold of Musa Michael's shot, and Cowio actually follows it up for once. It's something we've struggled with again this year. We've done a good job of scoring, as we showed with the numbers, but there have been a number of times, not usually off of the keeper's hands, but usually off the wood. I guess it was off the woodwork. So many times the ball has come off the woodwork, and we just don't have anyone pursuing the play, no one there to follow up and just tap it in. And we've had a couple of those go against us. It's been aggravating that our players don't do that, and their players do. So, you're here to hear me be happy about the fact that we did the thing for once. Huzzah. Babangida will reinitiate the attack. Playing out to Faustino, plays out to Ananu. Ananu, Daniels, unfortunately looking for Cowio, but center back there to take away the ball and give Bilbao possession. Vencedor out to, oh man, that name, Azpilicueta? That was a mouthful. I had to sit and think about it. Santa Cruz does a good job of intercepting. Musa Michael dwelling on the ball for a half second. Do like it. If they're not pressuring you, why make trouble? Cowio up to Daniels. Daniels blasts it, unfortunately, off the goalkeeper's hands, but we'll take the corner, sure. Sure. Advising the team to stay on our feet as we picked up at least 2 yellow cards, and I anticipate we picked up a third with that. Yes, we did. Sandro Cruz picked up a yellow card here. Not ideal. I think Chadi Riyadh has already served a yellow card suspension on the year. We've had a lot of good attacks take that form where just defensive backs have bombed it to strikers, tearing past our center backs. I know we have a high defensive line, and that's part of the thing. You're at risk for those, but feels like just the defenders also haven't been smart about them. They need to be dropping faster on these big attacks. I don't know what Cowio thought that pass was going to do. There's 2 guys between him and Musa Michael. He needed to just drive it to the end line and make a big cross, even though it's not exactly his job, but the positioning of all the players said that was the only way he was going to do anything productive with that. Nope, instead turnover city. Ure looking for Williams, well blocked off by the defense. Unfortunately, enough power on the shot that the block sends it out of bounds for a corner. Outbreaker here. Relatively easy handled, and it looks like the good guys will go with a 1-0 lead. Oh, could it be a 2-0 lead? No, Outbreaker. Youssef, what are you doing there? It worked. It's magic. Outbreakers don't work. We are short right-footed takers, given we are using a left winger and a right inside forward, so those are both left-footed. But in this case, our striker is also left-footed, Cowio, even though he doesn't play at either of the wing positions. And then I think, great work, guys. And then I think at least Youssef, as we saw, is left-footed. I'm not sure about Gayabua, but I'm not sure he's a good taker either. Sessingen would be taking as a right-footed player, but he's injured. I believe it's just the flu, but it still means he's not available. Boni Trova Boni, header saved by Simon. The Ryman Unai Simon. And they bomb it long. Luckily, we do a good job dropping there. Unfortunately, our defensive midfield is not in a good position to win the second ball. And yep, there was that. Apparently, Riyadh made a mistake. Was it this header right to the defense? Maybe. What else mistakes are there here? Let's see. He's running out. Ananu isn't really with him the whole time when he should be. Draws Faustino out to him. He beats him to the end line, but Riyadh's in good position, theoretically, but just like stops. And instead of contesting, instead of getting a foot in there, well, we're looking at them scoring a goal. Sigh. Musa Michael chest down the ball. Ernest attack. Gayabua dribbling. Oh, Kawio. I think he's offsides, so we're going to be disappointed here. But I'd love it if we weren't. We're going to let us keep this one? Hunt what we kill? Kill what we eat? Eat what we... I think I got that whole thing backwards. But hey, it counts. No flags raised. No VAR. Kawio, 6th goal of the year. Ibrahima. Good work, buddy. Okay, we will get a replay here with some lines. Tight offsides. Okay. When the ball was coming off the foot, it's the 2nd goal of the year, so I think we're up to 7 goals for Kawio. Beautiful stuff. Certainly nice to be turning things around here so far in a road game, as we've definitely had a very clear home road split so far this year. Williams again on the drive. And it looks like they'll get a corner out of that. Muniain, ball dangerous into the middle, but parried away by the team. Ananu gassing out a bit. Time to start thinking about substitutes. I definitely want to get Trova Boni off, but it always puts him as Boni Trova here. I wonder what his actual name is. Topanga Lukman Trova Boni. Huh. Cool. He is tired and also on a yellow card, so we definitely want to look to find some way to get him off the pitch. I think Nadam probably has enough in his legs to play 20 minutes. On the right side, Ananu is also on a yellow card. It's also gassing out a little bit. He would be a good option. The only other really right back we have is... Well, we have 2 options. We have Olufunwa, who's also a little bit tired after playing the U19 game last week. Or we could bring in Mendy, who again has struggled all year. He is bi-footed. He usually plays on the left. We'll try him out here on the right again. 20 minutes. How bad can he be? Faustino is the other one who's the most tired. Olufunwa would have to be the replacement there, but we'll see if we can get a little more out of him. Nunez plays it long. Kratos comes up on him. He has to play it back. Ananu's still on the pitch here for this sheet play. Daniels plays it up to Kawio. Back to Daniels. Daniels going to head to the stick a little bit. Turn so he can make a left-footed attempt into Bonatrovi. And heads it over the net. There's our 2 substitutes for now. Azpilicueta up to Munian. Gets back to Martinez. Kawio is going to get on him a little bit there. Nice. Like to see Kawio get a little involved in the defensive structure, even if just temporarily. Babangida is going to hold the ball here. I'm fine with that, and rolls it out to Faustino. Dribbles up, passes to Nadam. Nadam chips it along the left side. Musa Michael. And Santa Cruz is going to make a run, unfortunately right on top of him. Musa Michael kicks the brakes to get it to Santa Cruz. Kawio, can he get a hat trick? Not on this play anyways. Blocked by the defense, but ball did come back to one of our guys to reinitiate. You see Kawio is gassing out, but on 2 goals, I'm not inclined to pull him. I'm more worried about, say, someone in the midfield or, of course, Faustino. And I think in the end, it's Do I dare put in Olafunwa? Hasn't been playing much this year. Does have the pace. Yeah. Though let's switch spots. No, let's switch spots. All right. So that's who we got. This is our team. Simon reinitiates here in the 84th minute. Cruz comes over with the header to Michael, passes it into Yusuf to Cruz. Cruz lays it forward looking for Cowio. Does get on the end of it. Unfortunately, tries to one-time it and over the top of the net. 86th minute, 87th minute. Let's move us back. Ball played over the top. Riyadh does manage. Sandro Cruz manages to get back on it. God damn it. Trips the defender. Sandro Cruz will almost certainly get another yellow card for that. And we'll be playing with 10 men as they have a penalty attempt. No, they aren't going to card Cruz for that. Okay. Oh, and Babangida with the save, but fuck. The worst of all worlds. Makes the save, but his stone-footed first touch means it falls right back to the other team. Let's see how this highlight goes if we can before we make a change. Actually, let's make sure we get our change locked in. Well, we might need to play positive because they might just tie it up here as our team has been remarkably unclutch. Cruz luckily plays it out to the outside, and we will get our change. We'll slow down tempo, turn up time wasting, and move from a positive mentality to a defensive mentality. Just want to hold on here, ride out what is probably the last 5 minutes of the game, guys. Come away with the win. Daniels does come away with it, plays up to Cowio, holds it, and plays it back to Gaibu in the midfield. Finds Mendy along the right, who plays it up to Cowio. RJ just got tripped in the midfield, but I guess play possession on since we had the ball somewhere else. Daniels over to Yusuf, find Musa Michael. There we go, out to Sandro Cruz, uncovered along the left wing. Have a bit of a dribble, head for the stick. Find Musa Michael there, exchange with Sandro Cruz. He's not really looking for the pass, but looking to get pushed over and reset off of a free kick. Kayapua, why, buddy? Why? You weren't like, it wasn't a good look. Why are you taking that? Hold the ball. Cowio does come away with the dispossession. Gaiabua plays it up for Yusuf. Yusuf dribbling. Gosh, stop firing, you damn center midfielders. It's just on me somewhat. Let's move him back to CM to support. He's already on that's all on support. But time is quickly expiring and the ball falls to our feet. Cruz Alafunwa. There we go. Play it back to Babangida. I would like to see him hold it extra long and make the defender get all the way out to you. Nunez to Ure to Vencedor. And the whistle is blown. And Malia comes away with a road win, a 3-2 road win over Bilbao, Atletico Bilbao. Pretty even in terms of XG. Obviously, their big penalty and follow-up there gives you a ton of XG that put them ahead of us. But if you ignore that monumentally stupid moment, we did outperform them in XG, so a reasonably deserved result. I don't think possession's overrated. I just clicked the button because that's the button you click. So we are now on 30 points, just trailing, sixth by 7 points. We're on 32. Bilbao's on 30 points. So just trailing Sevilla in 6th by 5 points. That can easily be turned around, and well ahead of Real V and Gijon by a solid 18 points. Not really a relegation worry. So, yeah, I looked for a left back over the transfer window. I had an offer in for a guy from Liga 1, and unfortunately he got offers from Saint Etienne, Celtic, as well as Al Jazeera in the UAE. And interestingly, of all the choices, he decided to go with Al Jazeera in the UAE. Now, unsurprisingly, they probably offering him the most money, given it's one of those leagues where they toss money at people. But he was going to be a full-time starter at left back for us, and Celtic and Saint Etienne might have been able to offer European football, or at least the potential of it. So, but priorities, and in his case, it was money. We are running long, so I will just say thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely day. Please reach out to me if you have anything to say, and I will be back with you soon enough for an end-of-year update. Thanks so much. Have a lovely day. Bye.